What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Boxing, facts over fiction. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos and lives like these. That being said, let's get into it. Shakur Stevenson, 2-division world champion, will be fighting to become a 3-division world champion when he takes on Edwin De Los Santos sometime this year for the vacant WBC title that was vacated by Devin the Dream Heaney. Shakur Stevenson had a lot to say on a future potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson seen the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. fight. He was there for it. And he seen the Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo fight. And based on those two performances, he's not saying Canelo Alvarez is Errol Spence Jr. But he's saying from what he saw from Canelo versus Charlo and what he saw from Crawford versus Spence, he thinks it's no-brainer that Terence Crawford that destroyed Errol Spence Jr., if he doesn't stop Canelo, he'll give Canelo a boxing lesson. He believes Terence Crawford is on a different level. I also seen an interview from Shakur Stevenson where Shakur Stevenson he told us that he spars Terence Crawford so many times that after they were done sparring, he had a headache because he's a thinker like Terence Crawford. We know Shakur Stevenson is considered probably the best defensive fighter in all of boxing. This is a guy who understands distance. To become the best defensive fighter in all of boxing, you have to have a high IQ. If his brain is hurting from fighting Terence Crawford, it's the battle of IQs. And, IQ, a lot of people like to say skills pays the bills. Skills does pays the bills. But to be able to pull off some of those moves with those skill set, you need a high IQ. And that's what Terence Crawford brings to the table. He's the master of making adjustments. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Would love to see that fight. Would love to see Canelo Alvarez get in there with somebody more skillful than him. I haven't seen, except for Bivol. I haven't, but a lot of people are gonna base that Bivol fight on, they're trying to say that Bivol fight Canelo only lost because Canelo was the smaller man when Bivol never used his size. He just used his boxing abilities, it's boxing fans for you guys. They like a fighter and they make up these outrageous excuses to make their fighter, the guy they like, make that guy look good. I mean, it is what it is. I'm a fan of both Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, but I will have to agree with Shakur Stevenson. Crawford just possesses too much skills. The crazy thing about it is a lot of people don't even know that this guy can outbox his opponent for 12 rounds. He could do what you guys consider running. He could do the Mayweather if he wanted to. He has the IQ and the boxing ability to do that. I just want you guys to just go back in time and just watch one fight. Terence Crawford versus Victor Postol. And tell me, if you put that Terence Crawford in a ring with any of these guys and he wasn't interested in going in there and knocking their ass out like he always is, you tell me if he doesn't box his circles around Canelo Alvarez. you guys are gonna say, well, Canelo Alvarez is a different level fighter. I'm talking about just watch the skill set. You could be a different level fighter all you want, but once a guy is levels above you skillfully, you being a skilled too does not matter. That guy still has the edge over you skillfully. His feet, his footwork, his timing, everything is kind of superior to Canelo Alvarez. And I'm not being biased. I'm just giving you guys the facts. He is the superior fighter. He has a higher ring IQ. He's faster than Canelo Alvarez. Better lateral movement. More elusive. Takes better angles. He just does almost everything better than Canelo Alvarez. You know, some people will disagree, but you're free to disagree all you want. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I agree with Shakur Stevenson 1,000%. If Canelo was dumb enough to get in the ring with Terence Crawford, it would be a boxing lesson again. A lot of people is trying to say Canelo wins the fight, not off a skill set, but just off a weight. And when people start saying that, that's a bad sign for the other guy. If you think this guy's gonna win just because he's bigger, you don't know shit about boxing. And that's what I see from a lot of guys. I just seen a live earlier today where this guy says if people think Crawford was gonna win, they need to go to the gym, strap themselves up with weights on their arms, 5 pounds each on each arm. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I wish I knew who this guy was, so I can tell him how stupid he really is. Like, why would you even make a stupid analogy like that? Imagine putting 5 pounds on one arm and 5 pounds on the other arm. That is the stupidest thing anybody. I don't know what goes on in the mindset of people when they talk boxing. First of all, let me educate that casual fangirl who don't know nothing about boxing. I'm gonna educate them, right? Crawford doesn't fight at 147. What do I mean by that? What do you mean by that, boxing? Facts or fiction? Crawford doesn't fight at 147. Crawford fights at potentially middleweight or super middleweight. These guys cut weight to make 147. On fight night, they are not 147. So they're in the high 60s. They're in the 60s. Some get up to 80s. Like Kell Brook going into the Terence Crawford fight, he said, I'm going to be 180 on fight night. Crawford said, I'm going to blow up too. So if Kell Brook was 180 versus Terence Crawford for a 147-pound fight, how big was Terence Crawford? He probably was 165. So all Crawford needs to do is just make the weight, because he already fights at middleweight. He's not going to lose his speed. So when you listen to boxing fans and they say, man, the weight is too much, because they don't understand the sport of boxing. They don't understand that these guys don't fight at that weight class they're cutting to make this weight. They fight above that weight class. They weigh in at 147, but fight night they fight around middleweight or super middleweight. Some even fight as high as light heavyweight, depending on how much pounds you're allowed to gain. This is what boxing fans need to understand. Crawford going up 21 pounds. It's like Terence Crawford fighting at 147.